our system. We are just going to be rolling through it. I'm excited.
Yeah, now we take care of our Slardar here too. And Juggernaut probably next year for Young Minds if they just want to go the standard. I think just good Maelstrom building heroes up against SD and Luna is also something nice to get rid of. But Magnus already a good start. No matter who his partner is going to be, it's nice up against the SD Luna because you're just trying to siege. You're trying to be obnoxious with your Luna illusions and your bouncing glaives. And someone like Magnus who can just get that Force Staff, that Blink Dagger, and reach over top to actually handle you as you try and do that obnoxious siege. Going to be nice, but yeah, it's going to be the Slark instead. So we saw that earlier in combination with the Magnus, and not going to be coming out this time. So in that case, pretty nice for Warriors game actually. I'd be pretty happy to get a Jug at this point, I'd say.
Radiant team pick.
Definitely a nice possibility. I like this Nyx pickup from Young Minds. We saw it played in our first series, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Was not able to take the game off of Warriors Gaming Unity, but Young Minds, they are clearly shaping up to be a very, very strong team, so we'll see what they're going to do with their Nyx.
Yeah, Nyx, we still have that puck as well, which is pretty impressive. Some serious plays come out that game, and a Vengeful Spirit now as well. Could be core. I like it better as a support, though, just because they have the Magnus. I don't think you're going to get a lot of value out of a core Vengeful Spirit compared to most of your melee cores. Unless they get some sort of a position 4 that works really well with the Magnus, can scale up well, which is a pretty difficult task. So, yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. This is a bit unusual to go for Avenge at this point. I don't see a lot of value in her as a support right now, or as a position 1.
I'm thinking... No, not with the Magnus pick. If Warriors could just go Drow and try to get that, like, Ultra Death Ball going, because especially with the change to Shrines, like, if you can just crack the high ground once, like, really early on in one big Death Ball push, then you have complete map control, because you can take out the Shrines and they can't get anywhere there to contest Roche, to contest bottom runes and stuff. But I think Magnus is not what you want to pick when you have a...
Well, it seems, to be honest, Young Minds might have been thinking of what you were, because they go for a Earthshaker, which is just, again, another very unusual pick. So this
is going to be like a offlane shaker and what? Or let Nyx go off or roaming? Those two kind of fill a similar niche, I feel.
Yeah, kind of. It'll still be position 4 shaker. It's just like, compared to a Leshrac, I think a lot of people would say, like, why wouldn't you just take Leshrac instead of Earthshaker here? Like, what does this guy really offer? He does protect better against push, but now that this Venge will be the position 4, as we would have expected, and they'll get the Life Stealer. So it works a lot better with the Magnus, and the minus armor will synergize from the Vengeful Spirit, so it helps them take Roche a little bit faster than maybe other position 4s will. Even if the swap value is not necessarily there, maybe she could help out after a Vendetta if she's got those quick fingers to move a combination after an Impale, but I can't say I'm really feeling the Earthshaker too much from Young Minds, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. My biggest problem with him is his cooldown of Fissure is brutal. Like, this hero is just Fissure. Might as well be his name for the first, like, 20 minutes of the game before he's a Blink Dagger. All he does is throw a Fissure.
Basically. I just worry, like, if Earthshaker's diving in deep to these really crazy scenarios, there's so much that can punish him. Like, if he blinks forward for an Echo Slam or, you know, for a dope little ground pound, Vengeful Spirit can just punish that so heavily. So he's just going to probably be kamikazing in all these fights. Like, I don't think there's a way to play Earthshaker against this lineup in a really safe way, but also a really impactful way. I think you got to go big, go bold, and maybe take a couple of deaths.
Yeah, he'll definitely be like a combo breaker. So a lot of time you see Nyx Assassin up against Darkseer, and in this case Nyx Assassin up against Magnus, where the Carapace can help do that for you. In this case, Earthshaker, it's one of the few position 4s that can do that well. Like, that is something he does better than, let's say, Leshrac, where although he's not quite as strong in following up after the disruption in terms of like the overall damage output, he does give you a very big reach to cancel out those RP combos. But there's our Jug. So they end up with both the Lifestealer and the Jug. That is actually disgusting.
Is that going to be like a mid Jug? Like, how do you get enough farm for both of these guys?
Oh, it's fine. Just throw him mid for sure. I mean, what are they going to do? How do they gank a mid Jug? We're going to, like, Shadow Demon set up on you. They would have to go Mirana, but she's banned out, so he's, like, guaranteed to get the spin out now. I think this is, like, super strong from WG.
Yeah, I'm really liking their lineup. I think Young Minds are... You know, they've got that synergy with the Shadow Demon Luna, but other than that, it seems a little bit disjointed now. With Swap, they've got a lot of initiation.
Yeah, like the Quap's a nice pick for sure, actually. just pretty safe in the mid lane. They already have a weak 4 in the Venge in terms of like the gank potential. All they really have is like telekinesis into Venge stun, which overall isn't all too much, and Jug can't help set up into anything really in the mid lane. The Shadow Strike's going to be good against the Jug. As we move into lane, just those early cooldowns of Blade Fury are brutal. 42 seconds. And Venge has a little bit of a DC issue, so hopefully their
what
internet...
would good Dota be without the ceremonial pause at the start?
Oh, it just wouldn't even be the same game, honestly. Oh, look, she's already back.
Yeah, it's quick, it's easy. We get that pause, get everyone reset, get the casters to, you know, push their buttons, toggle their bindings, remember their overlays.
Oh, yeah, it's all good to go, don't worry.
Alright, just make sure.
Oh, we're firing through.
I've definitely done the, you know, 5 or 6 minutes of draft screen jail.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
it's like the worst feeling when you realize it.
Yeah, it's like an initiation. I feel like I'm sure everyone has done it.
Like, is there a tier 1 caster that is not at one point?
No,
as in HUD
everyone's
jail?
done it. There's no way. I would be shocked to learn.
There's probably one. There's probably like one really polished type.
No, they would have tweeted about it. No, they would have tweeted. There's no doubt. Like
they would have gloated about it.
Yeah, they would have for sure. So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no way you'd be humble about that. There would be a brag in there somewhere.
So we've now got our complete lineups talking a little bit about how WG is looking really strong. Like I think they fished their wish on this draft. Like I think there's virtually nothing that they really needed and didn't get. So things scale up accordingly. That should be great. But we cannot discount Young Minds anymore. They took a game off of this team that seems to be unbeatable. So I'm curious to see how they're going to do that.
Yeah, I think if you had to pick at things for the rating side draft that are weak, overall early game initiation is going to be pretty poor. Ben going to be struggling towards getting that Blink Dagger. He'll probably go towards that Helm again too, so it's not exactly the fastest build up to mobility and initiation, and they tend to rely on a 4 roll to try and get that done for them, so maybe like that Earth Spirit. But not here this game. It'll just be a Rubik, and Afu can be on the Rubik this time, or a Vengeful Spirit and then Afu on the Rubik. So their best range will be like swap, essentially, in the early stages of the game. That even still takes till level 6, so be a little bit of a quiet, kind of patient, more like counterplay sort of a game from them. And there's the possibility that maybe if a couple kills happen early game, like the Vendettas start rolling from Risen here, then maybe Young Minds get out of control and snowball too fast before the Magnus is ready.
You're on Young Minds right now, playing against a really accomplished team like Warriors Gaming. What is at the top of your checklist? Like, what do you need to make sure happens so this game goes well for you?
30 seconds. To
I would start to look at like my roles. I would be like thinking of my heroes and what my hero needs to do as an individual. So if I'm the next assassin, I know that all that really matters is I get level 6, and then from there I just need to make sure that my allies are there to try and get something done and help me start snowballing and becoming a potent force to shut them down. My Queen of Pain just can't die. Don't get over aggressive. Should be no reason she dies in the mid lane unless there's
You're
like
asking
a ridiculous
Carl
smoke.
not to get over aggressive?
the battle.
I don't
Yeah.
know about that.
There is the potential that he feels like, oh, I'm sure that Blade Fury's still on cooldown. Like, he's playing too aggressive. I'm going to blink scream him, and then suddenly there's a turnaround under the tower, which could really throw away any sort of a lane advantage he has. But I would say that overall, I actually kind of like the early game path for Young Minds. It's really all on the next assassin to me and how well he can do. But it looks like with that Iron Talon, they've cut out a bunch of these trees. I'm not sure if they're going to do any of these Earthshaker Pulse shenanigans. I know they're still somewhat feasible as the Sentry and Observer. This is a really nice Observer, actually, from the Radiant. That is like God tier. So it spots here and here, and they knew that he was in here, but they Sentry'd the high ground, and it doesn't catch this. So then he comes in, places this Observer, and it's spotted out. So the Radiant now aware that that Observer's there. And Risen
Gotta ask, man, what do you think about the
Go on.
change in having that, like, big blue puddle when you click on the words?
I think it's really good. I think it's super nice as a support player, because sometimes there's just these like weird angles that you
Like, you didn't know that tree blocked that angle or something.
yeah, exactly. Especially, well, on my screen you can see, but up in this area, it's really hard to find the perfect spot for your wards to give you the best angles and visions, and that little blue thing is pretty handy.
Yeah, I definitely like it when you're placing them. It just feels like, you know, when you're looking back at them, it makes your whole screen blue and just really changes how you look at it until you click on something else. So maybe a little more opaque in terms
Yeah.
of blueness, but definitely like the change instead of just the big circle.
Oh, look at this. They come in right when the Mud Golems are here. Perfect.
Aw.
Come and clean these all up, and he's just going to move over into the other jungle, actually. Pretty brutal for Nick Assassin, so entire lane abandoned. Might even see Corrido end up going down there and soaking at the tower, potentially. Would be risky for him, but he's also not offering too much up against Ben. You know, he'll have the skewer. In fact, he has the second point just saved, so Earthshaker doesn't really add too much into their kill potential. A good
Talk
block
a little
here.
bit about this mid lane. You've got Carl, the ranged hero, going up against Nana, the hero, with a magic immune spin. So I'm thinking this is going to be pretty easy. Like maybe Quap comes out a little bit in terms of, you know, she's able to dish out more damage, maybe gets a couple more last hits, but Nana is not going to be feeling the pressure, I don't think.
No, this is the thing about Jug. Why he's so good in the mid lane. He just buys his Portman shield, and he's fine. You just get your bottle going. You can bottle crow a bunch if you want to. And the earliest times are the scariest because of the way the cooldown scales on the Blade Fury, but he's already gotten to the second point. He's almost up in level 4 as well if he wants to get the healing ward, and it's just very difficult to deal with. And he's also risky. As long as he holds that Blade Fury, then it's always going to be somewhat scary for you because you don't know if supports are just going to be there.
Tasted Vengeful Spirit, and there is a courier running back down towards the mid lane. This could be dangerous, but looks like Venge is going to show a bit of restraint. Going in trying to pull that wave back.
Yeah, they also knew she was hasty because that ward down bottom too, so they even gave like a little bit of a nudge to the courier backing around this way.
Top, we got Luna with pretty much free farm. You talked about it being super important on the Nyx, but the first offlaner, our Magnus, he's just kind of dipping around in the jungle. He's got his Quelling Blade, no Talon for himself. Whether or not he goes that, I'm not sure, but how long can you let this Luna free farm? Because she is really stacking up.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fine for WG just because they're getting the same thing out of their lifestealer right now. Credo finally made that rotation down here as the Earthshaker, but he got there too late, so he didn't even end up getting the wave experience, and now he's just kind of down in a really shit lane. Could be a bad time for him. In fact, he might die because of this. Would end up being a pretty big mistake on his part, but he'll be okay. Close to losing. I say that. No, he's fine. Okay.
Likes to keep us on edge.
Yeah.
Bench has that level 1 missile at the ready, but he was just a little bit far back. It would have been difficult for everyone in Warriors Gaming to get up there that quickly.
Jeez, Carl's just playing with fire in the mid lane. He'll go Shrine. Quick blink there. Won't miss out on the range creep, though.
Yeah, it's all good. Worth saving his life for, at least. Now, Nana just punched a little bit by Kirito, maybe taking a fissure to the face, but he's doing really well in lane. Our big last hit leader is going to be our lifestealer, though. Down bottom, not feeling too harassed by the Nyx Assassin. Kind of expect that, though. Oddshade is just a god of farm.
Yeah, risen 3.5 now from all his iron taloning. Maybe hoping that Fisher could help set up for something. This is starting to get the painful mode for the Shaker, though. And Carl blink for it, hoping to bait out the spin, but not going to find it. In fact, oh, he doesn't actually have the mana. So good blink forward by Carl, spotting that out. Maybe noticed that the mana wasn't there for a spin after the healing ward, and that'll deny out the regen for Nana, but he can just Shrine, and his bottle is actually finished on the courier too, so in fact he's not even going to bother wasting his Shrine.
Yeah, Nyx missed the Impale on that initiation, though, which could have prolonged it or maybe forced out Juggernaut to use some more regen or whatnot, so Risen, a little bit of a misstep there, but still able to add some pressure to the mid lane, especially with both Earthshaker and Nyx still being there. This is time for Carl to shine. They can dive pretty deep.
Korea's trying to force out that spin so hard there. He just keeps like faking the Shaker right to the end, hoping that Nana's going to go for the bait. And that Dire Courier, though, it did go down. Looks like it was... Magnus actually got it. All right. I thought the creeps did, but I'm not sure. I know they were all both flying around. It was up here, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, well... So we'll miss first blood. It's driving the courier kill. It's good wraparound by Ace. So Carl dives the tower, gets the kill, and the next noble will just come back to his own mid-tier one to pick up the cleanup on the Queen of Pain. That was a good way to end this day, I would say, in terms of first bloods. It seems fitting that the courier was the true first blood anyway, so
the first blood had
that
been
just
shed,
makes sense.
You know?
Yeah.
Either way, that's going to be a nice little lane victory for our Quap, able to score that kill onto our Juggernaut. He did pick up his Omni Slash now and has it at the ready, but of course, Quap, they're, blink away and whatnot. A little bit spooky. Rubik gonna coming in, gets the lift, and now they've got this kill if they want it. Nice stun from the Earthshaker to buy themselves some time, and Afu actually getting really low, gonna get disrupted here by the Shadow Demon. Spin coming in, Nana gonna take a missile. Now, there we go. Spirit initiated onto Carl, but Carl is still about half health. Nana, no mana for our Omni Slash. Has that bottle, but needs to drink it up. And there he goes. He does now have the Omni Slash. Does he go for it? He gets the kill onto the Quap. Meanwhile, Nova's going to be focusing down the Earthshaker. Very well done from Warriors Gaming Unity.
Wow. Almost went for the Sonic Wave, but saw you a little bit too much HP. And then sick Omni Slash. I mean, maybe a little lucky on the bounces, especially Only 3 slashes and managed to hit all 3 on the heroes, but double kill cleaned up. Queen down. Slow her progression. As well as just the progression of this Earthshaker, too. Because he was involved in those fights. Now he doesn't get anything out of it. And this hero is just, I don't know. It feels so awful when you can't get anything going. He's still not even level 4, 7. I mean, it's not that bad on position for hero, but he particularly just wants to get that gold going, get up that blink dagger, and actually feel relevant.
Things kind of planning out. Again, we're only 7 minutes in the game, and the real fun of this lineup, or rather both these lineups, are going to start once heroes feel safe rotating around, once you're doing those 4 or 5-man ganks, once we're going into, you know, big old push. That's going to be what's fun to watch here. We're just watching everyone get their base items. What are some really critical items that heroes need before they're going to be able to leave their lanes and move around?
Well, actually a little bit harassed down here. There's not so much items this game, I don't think. Really, all that matters is levels. Just Nyx 6 still doesn't have it. Really bad for him. Just, I mean, forced to jungle the whole time. It's understandable, but slowing him down a lot. And then we're just waiting for this, what was going to be a smoke play up top, but instead, because Magnus had to go regen, they've actually snuck their ways into these trees. So they're now going to try and bait Fred into this first RP kill. And nicely done. It was a great kill.
Got the Eclipse, got the Lucent Beam, but just does not have time to get out of this. That's going to be a nice little kill for Ben. Putting him up towards, looks like he's going for that headdress.
And no RP even required, so now they can even smoke up with the RP if they want. Dire side vision, we'll see the supports leaving, heading this direction. And we'll see if they actually opt in towards a play with Ben, or if they'll just stick around. And yeah, knows a couple creeps still here, so maybe just going to farm this up first.
Ana going in. Had the Omni Slash available, and there weren't a whole lot of creeps around, but just with the level 1, I don't think you can kill full health co-op, so I'm going to back off, play a little bit safe, taking 2 tower shots right there, but not going to hurt him all too much. Juggernaut, you okay there?
There's also still no lane ward top, so Ben, he's moving to this full shockwave build just because he has been messing around with these creep camps and whatnot too, and helps. Oh,
I think Juggernaut was like a little asleep at the wheel. He took a lot of harass from Call's right clicks without responding.
All right, well anyway, back up top. Now the gank's happening. They have the skewer RP, but
Shadow Demon trying to go out. The Eclipse has been dropped from the Luna, and it is going to be enough to finish off Afu. Let's see if X-Nova can actually escape unscathed, and it's just going to go try to TP in. Impale off the mark. Wiz walks right into it, but can't stop it, so very well played by the Venge. Unfortunately, they had to lose their buddy. Rubik didn't make it through.
No, a little bit too deep there. Forced out all the rotations, but yeah, that Vendetta gank working out the mid lane, though, so Risen feeling pretty hardy and healthy. 800 and some gold heading towards his blink. Ben still going for the helm build that we discussed earlier. Not going to be any sort of an early blink out from him. And Credo can just fake out some fissures, doing the dance.
Oh, this Magnus gets just completely trapped in the trees. The odd shit moving in. He's left his lane, and he is hungry for blood. Look at that Magnus showing it off. Finally gets that one kill he needed, and there's going to be a nice RP just holding down that Luna so everyone else can punch her right in the gut. And that's going to be 2 very important kills. Warriors Gaming Unity are really feeling comfortable this game. They've got what they needed to. They won the lanes they needed to win. And this is their first big rotation, and it's going to result in most likely a tower.
Yeah, nice little play from Afu too, just to grab that Luna, toss her all back into the RP, free kill, and that's both without level 6 on these supports, so gonna turn it up another notch once we actually have our steal as well as our swap. Currently, there's your Helm creep at work here from the Magnus, empowered up Hellbear. Himself some nice gold. What a hero. Every time I see a Helm the Dominator in these games, I just want to like go play Dota with a Helm. It's so much fun just having this creep that, like, it doesn't matter what happens to the creep really. I mean, now it's nerfed because it gives 125 gold, but
yeah, no, I love it way more than the original Helm. Like, you know, you used to grab the Helm and grab a range creep and go stack your ancients and whatnot. But oh, is he gonna do it?
Nicely done. DD rune there as well, so a little bit risky. Gotta be careful. Don't want Nana to turn that around on you. But the rest of his team, despite all that attention mid, they can't get the kill, and there's still 3 heroes top. So they're waiting on Corrido to support Earthshaker, man. Oh, can't even get blasted.
Lift gonna be back up under tower. The missile connects. Look at that damage just unleashed onto Earthshaker. I mean, he's not a super squishy hero. He's got 860 HP. He's got some decent armor, 3, not great, but they just cut through him like it's nothing.
Yeah, and the Hellbear just tanks up like 7 tower shots as they make their escape. Oh, Rubik! Jeez, Carl finds him, but it's, well, at least he blinked over top of him, I suppose, but not going to know exactly where he went. He just TP's on home. And sadly not able to steal blink first. In fact, he actually TP down bottom. And what's he find? It'll be just the impale.
Yeah, you talked earlier about the importance of this Nyx assassin really shining, especially in lane, and he's having a really tough time. I mean, he's 0-1. It's not detrimental, but he's not near the items he needs to be super impactful. He's going for a Force Staff early on because he knows that blink is just a pipe dream. So it's going to be tricky. I think Young Minds can definitely still do it, but they've got to play super clean and not get out-rotated here. The fight's going to start off as the Fissure comes back in. The Carapace popped off a little bit early by the Nyx. The tower goes down in favor of the Lifestealer, and even though all the Dire are here, they can't find their initiation. Carl has his ult ready to rock. But is he actually going to spray it out? Nana's got that magic invis, Ajit as well. The lift from Afu, though! Oh, the blink away to disjoint the Omni Slash. They will find the Shadow Demon as a consolation prize, but that Quap barely got out of danger.
Yeah, Afu not able to find the blink either to chase down or anything like that. Also, just holding Impale is so strong on Rubik. It's hard to give up. I think he probably would for blink, especially if he can get it now, as he knows that he wants to rotate around the map. Carl, oh. Not sure if Carl even had vision there. Oh yeah, he definitely knew he was coming from that ward over there, so well played by him, and they just move into this tower. So perhaps a little unfortunate that, at least for the Dire side, that DD rune was there. It just made that tower take so easy that they weren't able to set up in time. They had that nice Fissure into the double Impale, but then Queen wasn't quite there, but they felt pressured to go because the DD was just chomping through the tower, and then after all that, Anna's now right back mid.
This fight's not over. Kirito's going in. He's trying to Fissure. He's trying to do anything he can, but he dies once again. There's another swap back. This Shadow Demon is just getting victimized. He's so easy to kill. And now this Lifestealer's on a roll, the Venge is on a roll. Everyone's doing really well in Warriors Gaming Unity, and it feels like Young Minds might be getting trampled over. I mean, I don't ever want to count out a Luna, but it's feeling like she's not getting online quick enough to deal with the push that's coming in.
Yeah, it's brutal how well these supports are working with each of the individual cores. Like, we've seen a kill happen now from both supports and the Lifestealer, and then both supports as well as the Magnus, just so early on in the game. And then Nana is just in the mid lane, feeling invincible, even with the Magic Immunity piercing on the ultimate of the Queen of Pain. It's still not going to be enough damage to bring him down. So he's happy just chilling here with this spin. He doesn't have TP though, so it could be risky. So be a little bit cautious.
Ajit just going at this bottom tower, has the Venge for support. Meanwhile, mid lane, we've got our Juggernaut spinning away from danger. I mean, it seems like Young Minds don't have an answer for the Magic Immunity of Warriors Gaming. You've got the Blade Fury on Juggernaut, you've got the Rage on Lifestealer, and there's just nothing Young Minds can do. They gotta sit back and wait till that's over, and when it's coming at you from two power-packed cores, that is yucky.
Yeah, they're just getting pulled all across the map, and the other guy that they're not even dealing with is a Magnus that's just about to have his Blink Dagger. I think he's actually purchased it up by now. Well, he's got enough gold to do so if he'd like. And so soon there's the full unit of Warriors Gaming. Will be feeling rather unstoppable, I would imagine. Comeback time. Maybe if they go a little bit too ambitious on Warriors Gaming, head for a Roche that they don't need this early. Or like maybe just when they haven't eliminated enough heroes from Young Minds or something. Oh, okay.
I mean, you were saying that as they were just chewing on Nyx like bubblegum.
Fair enough.
It's tough. I mean, look at the overall net worth graph. Like, this thing does not have a whole lot of ups and downs. This is one smooth line heading towards that 10,000 mark. I think if Young Minds has to, you know, they have to play pretty flawlessly, and they have to really disjoint Warriors Gaming Unity's synergy. Because like you mentioned, the supports are playing so well with the cores. If you can kind of separate those, if you can part the Red Sea, maybe you have a chance, but you really can't fight when all supports are intact
on
WG.
sentry.
That is just unfairly good of a sentry.
Yeah, scouted them with the forward progression of their observers. Yeah, they lose Rubik.
Rubik's going to be the consolation prize. They're jumping forward. X Nova's in some trouble. Is going to go ahead and stun. Will end up losing her life to a Lucent Beam, and that's going to be a 3 streak, so a little bit more gold going into that Luna's pockets, but again, just 2 supports while the rest of the cores are still farming up, and they're about to pressure this tier 2 top. A couple of TPs were already used to help defend against this mid/bottom push.
Yeah, at least they'll take it. But this courier coming through, they will spot out the fact that it has a Shadow Blade, at least if they saw it on the ward, and now they'll see it coming up towards this Magnus. So I really like this choice. They know the only game plan to success for Young Minds will be through a lot of split pushing in action, and Shadow Blade's a lot better than Blink Dagger in terms of catching out people like that. So it can be easier to set up for Magnus.
Has the Omni Slash, is he just going to drop it onto Risen?
It's like the worst hero. Well, yeah, probably the worst one. I mean, if you can find the Shadow Demon back here, you'd be even happier. Radiant Vision. Oh, look who it is.
Oh, it's Shadow Demon. Hey. Just
Oh,
trying
this
to get
is
in
just
range.
rude. They actually don't even want him. Oh, the RP. Oh, it's so close. Oh,
Oh my goodness, that was a disruption. Now he's got no mana for it here. He's just been burned down. There's going to be the Omni Slash in the back lines, jumping through, not able to find any kills, but getting 3 heroes low. Meanwhile, Fred moving forward with that Eclipse Rock, and they're able to find the kill onto the Rubik. It's a very small kill, and X-Nova now leading everyone down this hill. What a huge chase it's been. This one support focusing down the attention of 5 heroes, swapping in the invisible
risky.
Magnus, who's able to go ahead and charge out of there.
that was so risky with a sentry available, and they almost had it in time.
Is this fight done yet? It looks like Venge is going to reinitiate with a wave of terror. There's going to be another disrupt. Venge going to be impaled here. Odjit continuing to move forward, though. He's fast. He's got the face boots. He's got the armlet. Unfortunately, they're not able to stun the Shadow Demon and just join his TP. Everyone else on the side of Young Minds is just bailing. They are just getting out like it's all they can do. Kirito, though, he's stuck. He's got a TP. Didn't spend it. Instead, trying to draw aggro here. He's wave of terror. They've got vision of him. Like he's just cutting his way through the trees. X-Nova
Nice
just
ward.
waiting to pop out that stun until Juggernaut can get on top of him. Look at that crit. That was half his health gone in one swipe.
Good job there, just to guarantee the kill. But overall, that was a big win for the Dire. Like that fight, considering how that started as well. The attempted RP from Magnus and the immediate disruption. It's a pretty sick play from Wiz. And now there's Shadow Demon Lunaing the mid lane. And in a game where they were having some serious issues, we're kind of happy with this. Overall, the net worth, though, still looking okay for the Radiant. At least they're drawn off this tier 3.
Yeah, I mean, they really need this tier 3 as
Oh,
early
look
as
at this
possible.
down bottom. Got him.
This is just... I don't know what happened in game number 1. I mean, Young Minds are playing... They're not playing poorly this game, and they played very well last game, but it seems like Warriors Gaming just kind of woke up. Like, they're playing so cleanly, they're rotating with the appropriate supports, they've got all the abilities they need before taking fights. They're just not giving anything away for free.
Yeah, I feel like currently one of the problems would be that the Earthshaker is essentially still just kind of dead weight as a hero. Doesn't really matter how you play him. If he's going to be this level at this point, if you can't find him a lane to do anything in, which they weren't able to, it's like we said, I mean, it's 20 minutes and the hero is nothing but one Fisher in a team fight because the cooldown's so long, but
Yeah,
he's
he
looking to
just picked
get
up
rid of
his
that.
ultimate.
Yeah.
He's level 7 still, and you've got Lifestealer at almost level 16.
With the Blink Dagger, too, like, it's great that you have it now, because now he has 3 spells. Echo Slam, he can enchant Totem, but he's still also only level 7, so he's got a single point in the Aftershock. It's those next 3 levels that are massive for an Earthshaker.
Your Radiant Scan is now going to catch out. The people are here in the jungle rotating through. Didn't catch the Luna. Thought it would have, but Smoke coming in. This is a pretty dangerous fight. Everyone on the side of Young Minds has their ults. See how it's going to go down. Who's going to scout out who? The Sentry Ward. They, not put to use there. Smoke doesn't... Oh my! They got that Luna. And the rest of her team is just bailing out. They're not going to try to fight here. They're just going to cut their losses and run.
Yeah, nice play by Afu, too, just to lift her up. It doesn't even go for the steal, because, I mean, it's a Luna. You're not going to Eclipse. It's like, no way. You're just going to end up with the Q. So instead, he just waits to see if there's anyone else around, and it ends up with Impale instead. Whereas, like, a lot of people, when they're just playing Rubik in those situations, they just, like, grab them, and they just immediately take whatever spell the hero they see. But Impale, much more valuable.
Tier 1 going down in exchange for a Roche. I think Warriors Gaming are very happy with that trade, and they're going to go ahead and snap up an Aegis for their Lifestealer. At 20 minutes in, he's already got a Deso, a Manta, an Armlet, and now an Aegis. This Lifestealer is larger than life, man.
Yeah, that Manta's intense.
He's top of the net worth chart by a very significant margin.
And they went through that whole smoke gank and everything. That was with RP was actually down during that. And so now Ben is wandering around with the Shadow Blade, farming it up while he has RP available. 3 heroes, again, just using this Lifestealer with 2 supports to push in the mid lane.
I'll take that as tribute.
And, well, you got 2 of those levels now on the Corrido. You can just see, though, what a difference it makes. I mean, you're adding 0.3 seconds with every level of Aftershock to the stun, which means you're adding that much time to each of your stuns. So you basically multiply all those by 3. And see just how much value it adds to the hero.
Lifestealer hopping into the siege creep, just bailing out. He's going, man. Little siegey. Making his way in the world.
Yeah, it's a nice choice, too. Just can't really stun that up, obviously. You can just hop right out. Going on an adventure.
All I want to do is just watch this catapult farm now. Oh, looks like Fred's going to run right into him with his pet centaur. And Ajit bails out, destroying the body of the catapult he wants.
Nana being
Nana.
followed.
Risen's Impale is now pretty much out of range. They're going to go ahead, get that little slow, and they are able to find the Impale, the mana break as well. They're dumping everything for Nana, and they're not able to find him. X-Nova's going to reinitiate. They've got the Carapace available on Risen. Ben's going to go ahead and stun herself up, but they unloaded all that they had to try to get that jug kill, and they still couldn't do it. Now there's a big push coming in towards their mid. Young Minds is going to win this game. They've got to have a successful defense here. They can't afford to lose a set of racks this early on in the game when they're this far behind.
Credo's looking for his moment, that's for sure. He's been like waiting this whole game, it feels like. But now with an Aegis down lifesteal, you really don't want to use Echo Slam while they still have Aegis available. And Ben just sitting in the back lines with RP. This feels like one of those impossible fights.
Yeah, it feels like Young Minds are just going in. That's an RP. They got him. Eclipse actually doing a lot of work. Looks like X-Nova will go down. There's a gem on the floor. Now Ajit is super low. Again, wants to burn this Aegis. Hops in and out of the Centaur. Not only killing the Centaur, but restoring most of his health. This full lane of racks is about to go down. And this looks like it may just be the nail in the coffin for Young Minds. I mean, they can turtle, but I just don't know if they can come back from an advantage this big. Looking at overall net worth, it's about 15,000 at the 23-minute mark.
Yeah, certainly not necessarily GG at this point, but it's, I mean, from our point of view, it looks pretty easy to call it. I mean, 16.3, 11.8, 10.2, top 3 net worths, all Radiant side.
Even just the levels. I'm just looking at the
Yeah.
level breakdown now. You've got your Life Stealer at, level 17.5. He's going to get that level 20 skill pretty soon. You got your Juggernaut following him up, and your biggest cores on the side of the Dire just hit their 15s.
And they're just right back at it. Still making use of this Aegis. And no Echo Slam is long down.
Going through, just cleaning up some more towers. This is the desperate last attempt. You see, 2 heroes separated from their team, blocked in, and Dire still can't initiate. Like, what would Dire's perfect initiation be? Because they're just
They
not
don't
really
have it
finding
because it's
whatever
on
they need.
cooldown.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Risen's gonna go in, does get that little impale on our Life Stealer, takes down 1/10 of his health. He's gonna get silenced up, actually taking a fair amount of damage here, but pops in the Manta. There's a swap back onto Luna. This Luna just cannot afford to die anymore. Wiz doing what he can to keep her alive, but Fred with the BKB might buy himself some time.
Nice.
There's an RP to hold everyone in place, but just look at the spin damage coming out. Oh god, the shockwave to finish off the Nyx as well. It's gonna be a second full lane of racks. This is just a phenomenal performance for Warriors Gaming Unity.
Still have Aegis. And without them tapping out, Warriors Gaming are looking to force it. That's a refresher. All right, Ajit. Okay.
Please come
Oh,
down.
he sold it. All right. He's not going to troll us that hard, it seems.
But he could. He's got... Oh, he bought something. Bye.
I bet it was a normal. Some weird normal item.
A quarterstaff.
Oh,
Just a
nice.
quarterstaff.
Gotta get that butterfly going.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Look how quickly that Earthshaker melts. Like, when I think Earthshaker, I think a relatively tanky support that can kind of frontline in some fights, but he is just getting annihilated.
Yeah, they demolished them this game. Mega Creeps, 25
now
minutes.
at 25, and it just doesn't look like Young Minds have anything to really wait out for. I guess they're just fighting it to the bitter end. They're going in. This Nyx assassin about to get pummeled. Luna unloads the Eclipse. Nana's going to be magic immune, though, so it's not going to have too much of an effect. The Aegis is now consumed, so Ajit does not have a second life. Nice ult almost finishes off Nana and Ben, but they aren't able to get that down. The Echo isn't going to do it, but looks like the Fissure will be able to kill Nana, and that's actually a huge pick, but Ajit still going to work. They're still able to get this Quap. It's a triple kill now for our Life Stealer. And finally, after a lot of bloodshed and slaughter, the GG comes out.
Alright, well, game number 1 certainly looking a little better for Young Minds, but Warriors Gaming back to their regular form in game number 2. Don't want to drop any points in the group stage for the little Mr. Cat Invitational season number 2. So every game very important, and certainly put the pedal to the metal on this one for Warriors Gaming. So we're going to close this one out rather quick because I got to get back and gotta get shaped up here and send you guys back over to Moonduct number 1. So thank you again for joining us for Mr. Cat. Andy, thanks for hopping on in here.
Oh, thank you so much for dealing with my technical issues.
Oh, it's we're all over the place. So, all right, guys. Yeah, so we'll stop the